Ganeshaya Namah. Ganeshwar. Sant Ganeshwar was the second of the four children of Vittalpant and Rukminibai Kulkarni, a pious couple from the village Apegaon near Paithan in Maharashtra state, on the banks of river Godavari. Vittalpant studied Vedas and Shastras and became well versed in them at a very young age. Being extremely pious and detached towards worldly matters, he spent much of his time on pilgrimage. During one of the pilgrimages, he visited Alandi, about 30 kilometers from Pune. On that time, the name was Alankapuri. Now it is Pune, and camped in the local Hanuman temple. Siddhopant, a local Brahmin, was very much impressed with the youth and thought him as a suitable match for his daughter Rukmini. He met Vittalpant and after making enquiries proposed the marriage, not having any interest in setting up a family. Vittalpant declined, but because of instructions received in a vision, he later consented. After marriage, Vittalpant remained at Alandi for some time, but due to his lack of interest in family life, his father-in-law took him at Apega. When Vittalpant's father Govindpant and mother were happy to see their married son, unfortunately, both passed away. Shortly thereafter, leaving the family responsibilities to Vittalpant, who could not make the two ends meet due to his disinterest in worldly matters, means family matters. Finally, Siddhopant took the couple back to Alandi under his shelter, but didn't make any difference to Vittalpant, who one fine day went for a bath on the river and instead of returning home, went to Varanasi. In Varanasi, Vittalpant met a great saint, Ramananda Swami. Suppressing the fact that he was a married person, he requested Ramananda Swami to be accepted as a disciple and to be initiated as a sannyasi. Now, according to the rules, a married person cannot become a sannyasi unless he is permitted by his wife. The ritual of adopting the sannyasas requires undergoing the rituals performed for a dead person. All his past is supposed to be erased and he is given a new name. Vittalpant was renamed as a Chaitanyashram. One day, Ramananda Swami set upon a pilgrimage to Rameshwar and on the way halted at Alandi, means in Alankapuri, Pune. While he was camping there, Rukminibai, who now spent her time in worship and other rituals, preoccupation to drown her grief, went to meet Ramananda Swami, who uttered the words of blessing to her Putravati Bhava, or may you have a children. Rukminibai started laughing at these words of Ramananda Swami, and when asked to explain, told the Swamiji that the situation that her husband had deserted her. And see, Ramananda Swami probed her and realized that the description of her husband fitted with his disciple Chaitanyashram. Means it is same. What that she related to that. According to the Shastras, he was also to blame for having initiated Vittalpant. He immediately abandoned the pilgrimage and returned to Varanasi and accosted Chaitanyashram, who confessed to his guilt. He ordered Chaitanyashram immediately to return to his wife and establish a family. Vittalpant returned to Alandi but was excommunicated from the community because it was unheard of and against Shastras to abandon sannyas and adopt family life again. Vithalpant managed to spend his time in the study of Vedas and Shastras. In the course of time, 4 children were born to the couple. Nivrutti in the year 1273, Gandev, Ganeshwar in 1275, Sopan in 1277, and the fourth, a daughter Muktabai, in 1279. Everything was fine until Nivrutti was 7 years old, which it is the time when a boy of Brahmin age has to undergo thread ceremony and be inducted as a Brahmin. He approached the Brahmins of Alandi to be permitted to perform the thread ceremony, but the conservative Orthodox community refused. In a state of extreme distress, Vithalpant went to Trambakeshwar near Nasik in Maharashtra with his family for performing worship at the Shiva temple. Trambakeshwar is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas or luminary lingas of Lord Shiva. While they had gone for performing pradakshina of the temple, one night they encountered a ferocious tiger. Means it is in 13th century. The area was very deep forest. The members of the family ran helter-skelter and were dispersed. Nivrutti wandered into a cave in the Anjani mountain where Gahininath, one of the 9 Nathas, was staying for some time. He was attracted towards Nivrutti and in spite of his young age, initiated him into Nath section. Assigning him the mantra Ramakrishna Hari. Instructed him to propagate devotion to Sri Krishna. That is how Nivrutti became Nivruttinath. The matter of excommunication didn't affect this because the Nath section doesn't bother about caste system, and though socially it may be observed, it is ignored in spiritual matters. All the 4 children were very intelligent and pious. They studied the Vedas and Shastras under the father, but because they were excommunicated, they could not join the Brahmin community or study the schools run by them. In dispersion, Vithalpant went to Apegaon and appealed to the Brahmins there who, after studying and Shastras, opened that death was the only atonement for the sin. In a hopeless state of mind, Vithalpant and Rukminibai abandoned their children at Apegaon, traveled to Prayag and drowned themselves in the river of Gangas. The orphan children somehow grew up begging for dry alms from sympathetic people which they would cook and eat. In the course of time, they too approached the Brahmin community of Paithan to accept them as a Brahmins after whatever purification rites necessary, but the Brahmin community refused. However, considering the excellent behavior of the children and their learning, they permitted them to live in the community on the condition that they will observe celibacy and produce no progeny. This was in 1287 when Gandev was 12 years old. About this time, Nivruttinath initiated Gandev into the Nath section and instructed him to write a commentary on Gita. Thus, we have a unique situation of the 14-year-old Guru instructing his 12-year-old disciple to write something which has become the hope of humanity. The children moved to Nevase, a village in Ahmednagar district, on the banks of Pravara river. Where Gandev began his commentary on Gita, he used to give a discourse on it to a group of seekers, some of them belonging to a Nath section, but many were followers of the path of devotion. A local devotee by name Sachidananda Baba wrote down whatever Gyandev said. A prominent person among the audience was the Saint Namdev, known for the miracle where Vithoba, the presiding deity of Pandharpur, had eaten the food offering brought by Namdev when he was a mere boy. Gyandev and Namdev had met earlier at Pandharpur and developed mutual friendship. There is a legend regarding Sachidanand Baba mentioned above. On the day Nivritinath, Gyandev, etc. entered Nevase, means it's Ahmednagar, Sachidanand Baba had died, was being carried to the cremation ground, accompanied by his wife Saudamini, who wanted to commit sati. Somebody suggested that a saint had come and she should get his blessings before going to as sati. She found Gyandev sitting in meditation under a tree. She bowed to him when he blessed her with the words Akhanda Saubhagyavati Bhava, meaning may you never be a widow. When he became out of meditation, he realized the odd situation, but praying to God and Guru and using his powers, he brought back Sachidanand Baba to life. The latter remained his devotee for his life. The commentary was renamed Gyaneshwari. Later, both Gyaneshwari and Amrutanubhav are holy texts for the Varkari section today. Gyandev then accompanied Namdev and several other followers of devotee path like Sauta Mali, began a pilgrimage of all the holy places of North, East and West India. Immediately after returning to Alandi, Gyandev in 1296 expressed his desire to leave his body by taking samadhi. He chose the 13th day of the dark fortnight of Kartik for the final samadhi. People gathered and had final round of bhajans, etc. Gyandev embraced his brothers and sisters and close friends like Namdev. With tears in the eyes of all, he entered the cave and sat in yogic posture. That is in Padmasana. The cave was sealed by a stone and Gyandev left his body by yogic process. Gyandev was only 21 years of age at his time. Within a year and half of this event, his brothers and sisters also left the material world. Sopandev took samadhi at Saswad near Pune in Maharashtra, and Nivritinath travelled with his sister on a pilgrimage along Tapi river, where both were caught one day in thunderstorm. In the roar of thunder, rain and lightning, Muktabai vanished without trace. Soon after, Nivritinath took samadhi at Trambakeshwar. Thus was the end of an unusual family who enlightened the world spiritually and continue to do so even today. All the children were highly spiritually evolved persons. Muktabai, even as she was in her teens, became a guru to a highly accomplished yogi named Changdev, who was believed to be several centuries old. This is how the Gyaneshwar has made Gyaneshwari to peoples. Sri Ganeshaya Namah, Sant Gyaneshwar.